community. The Gwari people in Nigeria also acknowledge the rock as a gateway for the afterlife. It is believed that when people die, their spirits go to the rock. Takwa Bay is sheltered beach located near the Lagos Harbour. It's popular with swimmers and water sport enthusiasts. Also home to a welcoming resident community. You will love this beautiful island that far removed from the hustle and bustle of Lagos. Takwa Beach, unlike most public beaches in Lagos, isn't often noisy or overcrowded. This makes it a great place for some alone time with your significant other, or perhaps a fun day out with your friends. If you are looking for a quiet romantic time, you should visit Takwa Bay Beach on a weekday. Though Takwa Bay Beach is a small and lesser visited beach, many fun seekers visit it during the weekends, public holidays and festive seasons.
So they deserve, what do they call it again?
Kudos.
Oh, the kudos?
No, there's something that was trending at one point. They deserve
accolade.
An accolade.
Okay.
All right, so finally, still on this Workers' Day thing. We've talked about Oresanya reports and then the possibility of job losses and all of that. Okay, let's look at the private sector. They are also workers. They work, and then a lot of them now are going to be already out of jobs because some companies have laid off, some are scaling down, and some are taking job salary cuts and all of that. So now those people on the outside, once this thing is lifted, they're going to be looking for another way of re-engaging themselves. Already the economy is going towards a recession, and then people are unemployed, the number increasing due to COVID-19. What should be the mindset again? We can't keep talking about all of this.
Yes, I think just like before, we made some statements one time talking about the government and the people trying to be independent in their minds. I believe there is still a situation where people can be independent in their minds. You have lost this job. Before you get another job, we all know it will be very difficult in this period. Nobody wants to employ anybody right now. Even when COVID-19 is over, there'll still be a long time before anybody wants to employ anybody. So that's the time for everybody to think outside the box. Try to establish something for yourself. Try to understand how you can play around entrepreneurship. Having an enterprise, trying to go into small businesses. Farming, we talk about farming. Farming is there. We need food in the nation. We don't need to be exporting. I mean, there are sanitizers. People are making sanitizers these days. So while the COVID-19 is still going on, you might as well make good use of it. So that's what I
So we're going to have, in a way, we're going to have an uprush in the small and medium case.
Exactly.
Because a lot of new entrants are going to be entering due to job cuts. You know, people have lost their job. They want to get busy.
Yes.
Is it not going to be a pool, like a kind of a pool? Is it not going to have a kind of a effect on the demand and supply chain? Because a whole lot of people coming out to do something and then flooding the market. Don't forget the fact that there are no jobs. I mean, there are no monies actually. Salaries have been cut and a lot of things. People are struggling to survive. Are we going to see a kind of chaos in the economic sector?
I think this would just be a case of try by your luck.
It's not.
Try your luck. You just have to find a way.
Nigerians have been trying their lucks. Nigerians have been, especially those who practice day-to-day jobs in the private sector and the SMEs, like you said. Most SMEs are self-employed, and they have also the capability to creating more jobs. But the way we die usually is not there. For instance, as I'm sitting down here, apart from the media, whatever study that I have the capacity to training even 100 or 200 persons in ICT. You understand? I can actually teach people programming and softwares of handset in that same content and even make you better.
Yeah.
You understand? You train another person, and the chain continues. That was what China did. That is what Japan did, Korea did. They harnessed their experts and artisans from the street, gave them containers. If you go to China now, where we go from Nigeria here in Guangzhou, that we is at the seashore that you see industries. The industries are not gigantic the way we thought. You will see containers. People people are manufacturing phones inside containers, bringing cartons, packaging it, shipping it to Africa. So
that's why you have a lot of substandard things coming.
Whether substandard or standard, it depends on the one you pay for. If you want standard, you will get it. But the fact is that there is job creation and something is going on. And none of them is independent. I mean, is dependent on anybody. They are not even waiting for the government. People that are already paying tax to the government. Most of them are millionaires. You see them with their laptops. You see them with their phone, you think, this one Yahoo boys. No, they are writing programs in their phones.
At least even now, at least the health sector, there will be a lot of recruiting now for health staffs. For instance, over time in the university, when persons study things like biochemistry, some of all those microbiology, some of all
technology.
Those exactly. When they come out, they hardly see jobs because they feel it's only the nurses and the practicing medical doctors they should employ. Now, the federal government will be needing the services of all those people.
Yes.
The biochemists, the microbiologists, the anatomists, the physiologists, the pharmacists. They need all of them.
All of them.
So you see now, it's sometimes when people are crying in some situations, some people will definitely be rejoicing.
Exactly.
There will always be the two sides to a coin.
But in economics, we are talking about equilibrium, where not as you are crying now, you should not be crying. When the doctors and the medical workers, the microbiologists, the pharmacists, and so on that you call, they are rejoicing for job creation. Now, the propensity that you, who is maybe in another field, you are in another field, should also be there that you are rejoicing, and actually is there. But the enablement is what is not there. Just like the enablement has not been there for the health workers, and some of them run away to US and America to go and work as medical doctors and medical nurses. Canada's have almost our medical nurses and doctors there. The same is true with US and UK.
Because
and
there are not enough.
The number of the ones we have in the country are about just a little over 60,000. A little over 60,000. And this is a pandemic, for instance. And if not God and the measures the government and we ourselves have taken, imagine if people are dying in that millions.
All right. Now, our time is fast spent. I want to have your last word. Nigerians are going to be let loose by Monday. If I have whatever time we want to use it, relaxation of lockdown or so. But thing is, there's going to be a whole lot of movement. People will be coming out and all of that. So, final word, especially on keeping safe. It's not yet over with coronavirus.
It's not over till it's finally over. So Nigerians, I indulge Nigerians to still adhere to the prevention methods being slated by the NCDC. Keep your hands washed. They should keep their hands washed always with soap and water. They should use their hand sanitizers. They should use their face mask. Do not go into gatherings thinking all is well when all is not actually well. Yes. Now, it shouldn't be business as usual from on Monday. Even if you're going to go out, know that the reason you're going out should be on a very important basis. Don't just go out because you have to go out because they said. Because Nigerians are not thinking that it's a gradual lockdown. To them, that terminology gradual is not even there to them. The lockdown has been lifted. That is the only thing they have in their head right now. So that's just all I have to say.
All right, now, Mr. Dan, there are going to be a lot of enforcement, though, because there are stringent measures attached with the relaxation of the lockdown. Things not to do, where not to go, how not to behave, and all of that. And of course, the security forces are going to be up in arms to ensure that Nigerians adhere to instructions. So your final word to Nigerians, especially paying attention to rules and regulations. So
discipline.
Well, you see, one factor leads to another. Now the FG has released money to every state. All the states have money now to pay workers their salaries, to pay both public servants, serving and retired, their severances and gratuities. The federal government has done that. We are seeing it every day. We know all the number of the 36 states, the number of the states that have collected this money. The onus is on you now, the governors and the bureaus at all the states, to do what? Pay your workers. When you give them their money, all this struggle that you see on the street may not even be there. People will originally on their own stay indoor and eat what they want to eat.
But what about these people that are not on payroll?
I'm talking about the workers. So today is Workers' Day.
Okay.
So pay your workers. Pay your workers. Public servant, pay them. Civil servant, pay them. Even if you can't pay all, at least pay them. At least to some extent where they will be cushioned in this hard, heat economy that is hitting hard on everybody. Pay them. Don't withhold their money. And God bless Nigerian workers. Aluta continua, Victoria Asceta. I believe that you can always stand for what is right, what is justified, and what is patriotic, so that our country Nigeria can obey the rules and regulations brought to us by COVID-19.
All right. Okay, Nigeria, I hope you all heard by Monday, 4th of May, the partial lifting of the lockdown on Abuja, Lagos, and Ogun State. That doesn't mean it is all over. COVID-19 is still very, very much around the corner. Please, if you are going out for whatever reason, ensure that you obey and ensure that you obey and ensure that you obey. Get your face masks, wash your hands, maintain social distancing, and please, when you see security agencies, be nice so that you don't get the brunt of the security agencies. This time, all we should do and all we should ensure is that we stay alive to survive COVID-19. Thank you very much for being a part of this very, very interesting episode. Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel.
Thank you, Mr.
So
Jazz.
much for Mr. Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
And also thank you to those of you that called in, Mr. Peter that called, and then the caller that called from Ghana. Thank you so much for being a part of this situation room today. And if you tried to call us in and you couldn't get across to us, keep trying. With next time COVID-19 situation room comes your way, better luck then. We will see you again. Thank you so much for watching. I am Charles Ibe. Have a wonderful day.
For almost a decade, the Nigerian army have given their all to ensure that our dear country is not overrun by Boko Haram insurgents. Some have in the process paid the ultimate price, while many will forever live with indelible scars occasioned by their determination to protect the country, no matter the hurdle. Despite these, they have remained resolute and undaunted, and today, all territories the insurgents once took control of have been recaptured and normalcy restored. And now, for the first time in a long time, the end of Boko Haram is foreseeable. Therefore, the wisest thing for the remaining insurgents to do is to surrender its origin and establishment in 1919 by the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, Lekki Conservation Center has grown into one of Africa's prominent and most diverse urban nature parks due to its high species richness. It is located in the coastal environs covering an approximate land area of 78 acres extending from kilometer 19 along the Lagos-Ekpe Expressway and ends up a very close distance to the Atlantic Ocean near Okun-Ibeju village, a T-Osa local government area in the Eastern District of Lagos State, Nigeria. The Lekki Conservation Center's 401-meter-long canopy walkway is a scenic attraction reputed to be the longest canopy walkway in Africa. It is an engineering feat and amazing suspended swinging bridge walkway through the mosaic of vegetation types characterizing the Lekki Conservation Center Nature Park. It has the entry and exit portals connecting 6 towers, treating visitors to unique experience. Unforgettable chance to explore the nature park and get a bird's eye panoramic view of the habitats, types, and sight the unique wildlife that inhabit the Lekki Conservation Center. The Yankari National Park is in Bauchi State, East Central Nigeria, southeast of Bauchi town. It was established as a game reserve in 1956 and became a national park in 1991. It covers 870 square miles, 2,254 square kilometers. The park, at an elevation of about 1,600 feet, has characteristic savanna vegetation, including swamps in river floodplains, grasslands and thick bushes. Yankari is rich in animal life with antelopes, elephants, hippopotamus, giraffes, baboons, hyenas, lions, leopards and crocodiles. Special features of the park are ancient sandstone cisterns carved by former inhabitants for water storage and the Wikiwam Springs. It is impossible to miss Zuma Rock. Standing at 725 meters, it majestically presides over the surrounding landscape. Visitors in Nigeria will often notice that there is an unusual silence when traveling the highway in the area. Yes, you read right. Zuma Rock has natural contours on the surface which depict the image of human face with a visible mouth, eyes and nose. The natives of the community believe the face represents the deity and ancestral powers protecting and governing the affairs of the community. The Wari people in Nigeria also acknowledge the rock as a gateway for the afterlife. It is believed that when people die, their spirits go to the rock. Takwa Bay is a sheltered beach located near the Lagos Harbour. It's popular with swimmers and water sport enthusiasts. Also home to a welcoming resident community. You will love this beautiful island that far removed from the hustle and bustle of Lagos. Takwa Beach, unlike most public beaches in Lagos, isn't often noisy or overcrowded. This makes it a great place for some alone time with your significant other, or perhaps a fun day out with your friends. If you are looking for a quiet romantic time, you should visit Takwa Bay Beach on a weekday. Though Takwa Bay Beach is a small and lesser visited beach, many fun seekers visit it during the weekends.
We cannot keep doing same thing and expecting a different result.
The only way you create jobs from your ministry is that you have to encourage local content.
If you look at the profile of Sally Mama,
there is a caveat in this leave given to him. He should seek medical help if he's fine.
Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria.
Television Nigeria sparkling around the whole world. Welcome to Television Nigeria, the #1 fast-growing satellite TV based in the heart of Abuja, transmitting on the free-to-air bouquet online concert platform. Television Nigeria, the home of movies, documentaries, music, Betty parties, entertainment, events, and many more. You can reach us at Television House opposite White House Mansion, Kuzape area, Abuja, or visit us at www.tvn.com or call us on 080-9153-5054. Television Nigeria, the #1 choice of the whole world.
Of leadership is a factor in this regard to the success of the fight against the Boko Haram terrorists. And then you look at also the factor of morale.
For almost a decade, the Nigerian army have given their all to ensure that our dear country is not overrun by Boko Haram insurgents. Some have in the process paid the ultimate price, while many will forever live with indelible scars occasioned by their determination to protect the country, no matter the hurdle. Despite these, they have remained resolute and undaunted, and today, all territories the insurgents once took control of have been recaptured and normalcy restored. And now, for the first time in a long time, the end of Boko Haram is foreseeable. Therefore, the wisest thing for the remaining insurgents to do is to surrender today or face total destruction from the army. Remember, the Nigerian army will stop at nothing to ensure that total peace is restored in all parts.
Of the virus also rose to 58, while 319 have now recovered. The Nelson Mandela Foundation has eulogized South African anti-apartheid activist Dennis Goldberg as true patriot and a stalwart of struggle. Mr. Goldberg died on Wednesday night at the age of 87. His niece, Joy Noeros, said he had been suffering from lung cancer. He was tried alongside Nelson Mandela and was imprisoned for 22 years. Namibia will start to ease nationwide restrictions on movement from next Tuesday, allowing economic activity under strict monitoring, President Hage Geingob said on Thursday. Namibia has so far seen 16 confirmed cases of coronavirus with no deaths. Geingob said in a televised speech that from midnight on Monday, May 4, Namibia would enter stage 2 of a 4-stage plan. People will be permitted to travel domestically while wearing face masks at all times. Returning Namibians will be allowed to re-enter the country subject to screening on entry and quarantine for 14 days, but borders will remain closed for non-Namibians. Now we'll go back to Nigeria, where the Health Minister Dr. Osagie Ehanire has revealed that 113 health workers have been infected with COVID-19. Dr. Ehanire made the announcement during the Presidential Task Force briefing on Thursday. He said the rapid spread of COVID-19 community transmission is a major concern for the PTF, but a bigger concern is the number of health workers who have now tested positive while in the line of duty. Zambia will get 2.7 billion kwacha from multilateral lenders, Britain and the United States, to help fight the coronavirus, the ministry said on Thursday. The southern country has confirmed 97 cases of COVID-19 infections and 3 deaths from the lung disease caused by the novel coronavirus. We now move into the world of business, where the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has extended the deadlines for compliance with the revised minimum capital requirements by the microfinance banks, MFBs, in the country. This is contained in a circular to all microfinance banks dated April 29 and signed by the Director of CBN Financial Policy and Regulation Department, Kevin Amugo. Amugo noted that the review was as a result of the effect of the coronavirus pandemic on economic activities in the country. Now on to the entertainment scene. As the coronavirus lockdown forces entertainment industries online, Facebook Live will be overhauled. Other changes include a return of Live With, which allows co-hosts to join the stream, and the integration of live streams into online-only event pages. In an announcement titled Introducing Messenger Rooms and More Ways to Connect When You're Apart, the company says to support creators and small businesses, we plan to charge for access to events with live videos on Facebook, anything from online performances to classes to professional conferences. Meanwhile, tributes have continued to pour in from Nigerians and celebrities known as Kodak. Kodak died on Wednesday, April 29, 2020 in Lagos State. There are speculations that the dancer died from electrocution while charging her phone. Such a sad one there. And that's how much we can take on AM News today. I am Susan Achin.
Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Mercy.
Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Elvis.
On the back of your last news, such a sad one there.
Really sad, really sad.
She was electrocuted.
While charging her phone.
Yeah. I would really have loved to know what the exact details of that story was.
This is not the first time we've seen people being electrocuted from charging their phones. That is why there have been this campaign or this awareness that if you're sleeping, don't keep your phone close to yourself while charging it. And it's best advised that you don't even charge your phone when you are using it.
Probably there was so much of power, concentrated in maybe several devices were plugged, and then there was no proper flow of power, something. But
another thing that I have to add is that I think in Nigeria presently we have realized that persons can just come and say, okay, this is what the person died of. There's no further explanation, there's no further investigation.
And investigation so that
there's
for next time.
Like next time, let people understand what really happened, how it happened, like in more details. Police is still meant to come in. She died in someone else's house, not her own house. So
really unfortunate.
Because you see some of these devices are highly explosive, like the battery, the element using in making the battery, the lithium is highly explosive. So even when it's being exposed to so much heat, like you keep your phone on your breast pocket, they saw it actually make it very,
they would have
dangerous.
actually helped us with information like what brand of phone,
what brand of phone, the charger,
Yes. If the charger next time. Plus, why they should have investigated as well. The charger, is it like an original charger? Is it a fake charger? Because
sometimes, that happens.
That assists a lot. So it's spoiling the battery inside and the heat and everything.
Nelson Mandela Foundation, Jaizen and anti-apartheid fight. That's what happened when systems are actually strong and they are working. What I mean is that Nelson Mandela is no longer alive. But people that are manning his foundation are actually carrying on what he believes. Exactly. And then prior to this, we must not have known much about this guy because it was just Nelson Mandela at the forefront in the picture. But it was actually tried with Nelson Mandela and he was sentenced alongside Nelson Mandela. So it's a good one. When we celebrate people like this, people will find more reasons to do or carry more patriotic gestures.
Leave more legacies for posterity, and that's what it's all about, leaving legacies for posterity. We now go across Africa for some more news. Just stay with us.
This is News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. Kenyans are outraged after some 4 million Kenyan shillings has been spent on tea and snacks, while 2 million Kenyan shillings has been used on airtime for staff, according to the ministry's budget that has been made public. This is part of a budget of 10 million Kenyan shillings for tea and snacks for an unspecified period and 6 million Kenyan shillings for airtime for 3 months. Other items in the budget include leasing of ambulances, stationaries and fuel. The money was part of the $9.3 million donated by the World Bank to Kenya for emergency response during the pandemic. There has been an attempted prison break in Sierra Leone after a recently arrived inmate developed symptoms of coronavirus. A warden was killed and several others injured in the riot at Pandeman Road Prison in the capital, Freetown. The jail was set ablaze. The Pandeman Road Prison has capacity for about 300 prisoners but currently houses more than 1,000. Criminal courts have been suspended for a month in an effort to stem the spread of the COVID-19 in jails. There have been 104 confirmed coronavirus cases in Sierra Leone and 4 deaths. Reports from the Central African Republic say at least 37 people have been killed in an attack on the northern town of Ndeli. 3 rebel groups stormed the main market then attacked other parts of the town, setting up a base in a Catholic church. United Nations peacekeepers and another militia which previously controlled Ndeli failed to fight off the attackers. Numerous rebel groups have been operating in Central African Republic since President Francois Bozize was overthrown 7 years ago. The tobacco industry in South Africa is preparing to take legal action in response to the government's decision to continue the ban on cigarette sales when lockdown measures are eased on Friday. The Fair Trade Independent Tobacco Association, which is mounting a legal challenge against the government, said more than 270,000 South Africans signed a petition opposing the ban on cigarette sales. The petition started when smokers were given 1 day's notice of the ban ahead of the lockdown, which began at midnight on 26 March. They have described this short notice as unfair and spiteful. The petition also says withdrawing from nicotine can have serious side effects like depression, stress, and anxiety. It is estimated that the state is losing an average around $55 million a month in tax revenue during the ban on selling of tobacco products. Now, domestic and sexual violence experts in Nigeria said they have seen an increase in the number of people asking them for help. It comes as the United Nations warns of a shadow pandemic with rising reports of physical and verbal abuse in homes around the world because of coronavirus lockdowns. The Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team says it has added extra handlers on its hotlines to cope with the amount of calls they are getting. They are literally working on eggshells because they don't know how their partner is going to react during this period. People need escape routes and now they are stuck, said Titiola Vivo Adeniyi, the coordinator for the unit. Finding numbers on exactly how many people are being abused in Nigeria is difficult because so many don't report or come forward. Nigerians residents in China have cried out to President Muhammadu Buhari to come to their rescue from the hands of Chinese authorities, who they accuse of harassing and maltreating them following the outbreak of the deadly coronavirus. In an earlier report, it was reported last week that 72 Nigerians and 111 other Africans awaiting evacuation in China tested positive to COVID-19. The report also claimed that the result of the test conducted on 56 Nigerians, which were last released on Tuesday, indicated that the affected individuals were asymptomatic, raising concern that they might have infected other people. This was after 16 other Nigerians had earlier tested positive for the virus, bringing the total number to 72. That is all we have for you on News Across Africa. Daybreak Africa continues shortly.
You're still watching Daybreak Africa on television in Nigeria, and those were news across Africa. We'll now take you straight to our newspaper review segment where we have Victor Tehemba to
good morning,
discuss with us. Good morning, brother.
Yeah, you're looking good.
You're
Good morning,
looking
Tehemba.
awesome too.
Yeah, exactly. You're learning fast.
Okay, let's go to Nigeria Tribune newspaper. And the headlines: Labour says no to arbitrary cuts in workers' salary. Salute health workers advocates reduction in food, drug prices. Will celebrate May Day, organized Labour. Amnesty International calls for protection of health workers. Below that, we have 113 health workers infected, federal government. We are struggling with bed spaces to test patients in Lagos and CDC. Kano gets ventilators, other equipment to battle COVID-19. Edo declares COVID-19 patients wanted. I think in the person of one Amaka.
Okay. Well, I don't know if, let us start from there. I don't know why people who have this virus are always trying to run away. Yeah, we've had cases in other states, in like Borno, for instance, where 2 patients escaped from this facility, and some other states as well, including Osun State, I believe that people escape. So you're wondering why exactly do you want to go ahead and infect other people with the virus, or what exactly are they afraid of? And they also look at the fact that NCDC is lamenting that they don't have enough bed spaces in Lagos. I think that was a major fear of everybody, that we shouldn't allow this coronavirus become a pandemic in Nigeria. You know, it's already less than pandemic globally, but then it shouldn't be pandemic in Nigeria because we will not have the enough resources
capacity to contain it.
Yes, to contain it. And they also look at Lagos is quite even surprising because Lagos had the biggest share of goodwill from people, including the banks, UBA and GT and the rest. I think UBA, or was it GT? GT rather, had to use the entire Onikon Stadium as isolation center. So you would expect that if GTB is doing that on their own part, you would think maybe Lagos State has its own role, its own part where it's playing, and then the federal government, and then that should have been enough. We know they are actually less than recording the highest number of cases, but then if Lagos is having that problem, imagine when it becomes an issue in other states. And then like Kano that is actually coming up in Rivers. Yesterday, listening lesson figures was alarming. 80 people from Kano alone, and that is just mind-blowing. And then you have to just remember that the NCDC facility in Kano was closed down for a particular period, and they reopened, I think, a day before yesterday. Yeah. So let's say they reopened a day before yesterday, and then to yesterday they did a lot of testing, and then this came up with that. So I don't know if I'm going to be expecting more of these kind of large numbers of cases now that they're open. Maybe now, because when they were not open, they didn't have people coming around to test and all of that.
Okay, talking about people running away from these isolation or treatment centers. The other day we were talking about it. We were trying to look at how well are these people treated there, and then we're trying to look at if stigmatization are actually setting for people who have contracted this virus. And then another issue we have to look at is the severity of the disease. Maybe if you are really down, you don't even have the strength to run away. So if someone is not really down and is still breathing fine, and so we'll have to look at maybe how we cater for different levels of this disease. Like if you are just, maybe you are showing symptoms but your immune system is not totally down yet. How you are being treated should actually give an insight to why people will want to stay or run away.
Yes, let's just go back. I think about a month ago in Osun State, one lady that was actually suspected to have COVID-19, she died in the isolation center. When it was later discovered that she didn't actually have coronavirus, the virus. Mostly it was just maybe some symptoms that resembled the coronavirus, or wasn't COVID-19. And the family came out to claim that she didn't die from the virus; she actually died from the poor.
I think that was in the Enugu State.
No, that was Osun. Yeah, I don't know if another of such case happened in Enugu, but this happened in Osun. So there are also concerns for that, and that's also been it's the reason why I worry, because when you look at our death rate at the moment, it is high when you compare, and then we have less than 2,000 cases, and our death rate is higher than South Africa, for example, that has
about 5,000 cases.
More than 5,000 cases. So this cause for concern, not that we don't have this personnel to manage this illness and whatever, but then do they have the adequate equipment, facilities? Is the place this is not conducive enough? And even the first case we had in Nigeria, the Italian man, there was also rumors that he had wanted to escape from the center they kept him because the place was deplorable for him to stay. So that's also concern, and I think I buy into that. Maybe that's the reason why most people don't want. And then some people might also be for the stigma. Exactly, once somebody knows, Nigerians, Africans, once they know that you have this coronavirus, they want to avoid you. It's like this is having HIV/AIDS, and even this in Chinese in Nigeria that had not returned to their country for any reason, but because Nigerians learned that the virus came from China, they were taking out those sort of attacks on the Chinese and say we don't want you. We even saw videos on surface online where once these Chinese are passing and then Nigerians are making those kind of funny comments about them. So I think there was all of these three factors might play into the reason why
there's a video trending online of a father rejecting he saw it from coming. But one can draw 2 lines: stigmatization and actually doing the right thing. Both of them.
The society is trying to look at it from him doing the right thing.
But his family won't think the same thing.
He has been named. I think he has been named champion of
ambassador of COVID-19 to Ekiti State.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
It's actually good. Okay, from the Nation newspaper, the banner headline we have from there is isolation centers running out of space for patients. Government seeks home treatment. 113 health workers infected. FCT renovates cemeteries. US to give go-ahead for trial drug.
Yeah, so basically, we know with lots of scientists have come out to say they have found a drug that might possibly be a cure for the vaccine, but the thing is they'll have to do testing. We are still waiting for the test result that Oxford University did on some people last week. So we want to know the update, exactly what has been the result. Did it work or not? And now President Trump saying they should also test it. It's actually good as long as people are coming out with stuff like this and then testing. And then the thing is, the US, for example, used what they have, the science and technology, to produce what they think will be a vaccine. And then the president has given the go-ahead, and you go ahead and test it. Let us see if it's going to work. And here in Nigeria, we have people who have used herbal means to come up with solutions that we think are solutions, and yet we are not really listening to them, and nobody even wants to even give them an ear.
I think I pick particular interest on that story of a possible cure from US Oxford University we're talking about. I was showing Messi yesterday while we were off the set, and from statistics, about out of 400 people that this drug was being tested upon, about 200 of them recovered within 2 weeks. Yeah, more than half of them. And it was actually a drug that was formed or manufactured to fight Ebola then, but it failed. But funny enough, it's now yielding positive result regards COVID-19. I think it's being called Remeds-V. And interestingly, a Nigerian doctor is actually leading that research.
The thing is, they have never ever denied that we don't have the manpower, the capacity to do it. It's just the willingness, the support, the policies that encourages this, for example, because we are expected that this lesson COVID-19 came with a lot of negativities and also came with a lot of positives, and we are not taking the lesson positive, because this is the time that government should have taken science and technology research very seriously, and then looks at, can we begin to fund this sort of research? Can we do something like this? We should be looking at to lead. Other countries are looking forward to leading, but then we are more concerned about, let us tackle it first, contain it, and then we are not really looking for solutions. So right now we are not even looking for solutions. It's like we are doing the best we can do to contain it and waiting for other people to get the solution, and then we tap into that solution.
That actually explains why much attention has not been given to the local herbs that people are claiming could be a possible cure. But we actually implore everybody to look inward, like you said.
Yes. The Daily Trust newspaper, I think I find this interesting. Access Bank slashes workers' salaries and is in lockdown, not permission for carelessness. I think the Access Bank.
Yes, for example, I think every organization will have the right at this point in time, and they also we should also understand that some organizations are who are basically not in the habit of treating their staff welfare seriously. We really at this point
take advantage of this.
Let's capitalize on this to let's further their callousness when it comes to workers' welfare. But at the same time, every company, every organization, private organization has the right to that.
Yes, it's their right.
Yeah, but then when you look at any bank, for example, you look at Access Bank. In fact, looking at banks in general, these are companies that post. Some companies post as much as 21 billion naira in profit when the year ends. Some post about 17 billion. Access Bank is actually one of the top earners in the recent banking industry, and they have expected that slashing salary at this point in time. We are looking at supporting people. So as a financial institution of this nature, the best thing you can do is to support your staff. They have the wherewithal to do that. Now. Not that they lack anything. They can pay their staff 3 months without doing anything, and then they won't really feel the brunt of it, because they make a lot of profit at the end of the year, just like every other bank. You can't hear we haven't heard GT trying to do that, or UBA or Zenith. These are banks that are also top topless and letters when the year comes to an end. But then it's also in their right, and then they also winning that it's not the lockdown, it's not
permission for carelessness.
To be careless.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, lifting the lockdown or easing the lockdown, it is the federal government saying you are now on your own. You and your immune system should take care of yourself. So it's now to be wise. And the best thing is, if everybody takes care of themselves, inadvertently they will take care of every other person too.
Okay, let's take a look at some headlines from the Punch newspaper. The banner headline we are from there is infected health workers rise from 40 to 113 in 1 week. Above the nameplate, National Assembly article others salute Nigerians on Workers' Day. 3,256 listed as CBN begins 50 billion naira COVID-19 fund disbursement.
303.
When you take a selfie, when you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend the low, come on girl, when you take it.
256.
Okay. I think that's a good place to start, and I hope my name is there.
Because of time, let's look at the Business Day newspaper.
Right.
Federal government considers home care for COVID-19 patients as bed space becomes a problem.
That is also another way out. It also goes to say isolation. You stay in your house, you are being taken care of, and all of that. And I think that is also a way out.
But how can this really go far? Because when the cases become serious, what are the siblings or the family members meant to do for the person?
Maybe I think they don't have to go in this encounter with the person. You know, people come out and they say self-isolate. So the same way people relate with you when they self-isolate, yes, is to be in your apartment, in your room, separately, and then the left medical workers attend to you on a daily basis, or how the disease schedule works out.
You know, actually, that makes it sound like the COVID-19 is not something so serious. It's something anybody can personally handle in their home.
Sorry, we were actually talking about it yesterday, and then a program we did yesterday, we're talking about stigmatization, and we're looking at, okay, why stigma is so bad is that once someone has flu, like from record so far, flu is even more contagious than HIV and some other things, but when you have HIV, they tend to stigmatize you than when you have flu. Do you understand? So
I think because the awareness that the flu cannot do so much
harm to you.
Much harm to your body.
You can actually recover from the flu
so fast.
So fast.
Once you take medications for HIV, is not something that you joke with. So because of time. All right. That's it for Business Day newspaper. Thank you, Victor. Tamba.
Thank you, Ms.
It's been a nice time having you on the program to review the newspaper with us.
Thank you for having me.
I hope to see you on Monday.
Definitely.
Okay. So isolation and quarantine. Let's listen to what the people have to say on the streets.
Present by the word coronavirus.
Well, the word I understand for coronavirus is a disease. That is my way of understanding word of coronavirus.
What is that?
Pandemic disease that all over the world people are suffering on it now.
Okay. What is the difference between isolation and quarantine?
Well, from my understanding, isolation and quarantine, isolation is that somebody who has it already. Then quarantine is that maybe they tested the person, or you went to some place that there's such much of that coronavirus, then he'll be in isolation for that. For that 2 weeks, if there's no problem, means he can go away, do his own activities as normal as every time.
So, okay, if you come back from somewhere, then you isolate yourself?
Yeah, isolate yourself for 2 weeks. If there's nothing sure, means you are allowed to go to everywhere.
So what about quarantine?
Quarantine is that somebody who already have it. That is my way of understanding. Who already have the sickness, then should be in that quarantine, taking care of himself with some drugs if God help, because there's no vaccine. Physically, there's no vaccine to cure the sickness. So I think for that it should have to be for 2 weeks or more than that until the person is getting safe.
Your name?
My name is Thelma. Thelma.
What do you know about coronavirus?
Coronavirus is a virus.
Have you heard of isolation, quarantine? Have you heard of it before?
Yes, I have.
What is the difference between isolation and quarantine?
Nothing, they are the same.
What is it the same?
But isolation is like to isolate yourself like 2 weeks. Quarantine is like it's just like a holiday. Honest, I don't know. I'm not prepared for this. Don't.
Why is they not prepared for it?
I'm not prepared for it. Don't worry.
Coronavirus is the new sickness where everybody is aware of, and it's very effective to every human being on earth, which you can contact from your neighbor by shaking hand and chesting and some other things, or talking to who get it, and without covering your nose with this can face mask, you will contact the sickness easily.
Okay, what is the difference between isolation and quarantine?
That one, sure, I'm very sorry, I'm not too much understand about it.
Which one do you understand most?
What I know is all about this sickness of it, coronavirus. But some of us say we contact from animals. Why we experience it within ourselves, that we quickly contact with our neighbor, but we don't know how come about the sickness in Nigeria. All we know that they say they carry it from outside to Nigeria. That is what we know.
But you've not heard of quarantine before, or isolation? You've not heard something like that before?
Quarantine is what I know about quarantine is about how to making love with your colleagues or share love with your colleagues. That's what I know about quarantine. Apart from that, I don't know anything about quarantine again.
What about isolation?
Isolation is something as in... sorry, I can't even explain more than that. I'm very sorry for that.
The difference between isolation and quarantine is that people that have been quarantined are people that have been infected with coronavirus. But isolation is like me and you now, we are giving ourselves social distance. It's a kind of isolation. You can watch, you are under quarantine, means you have already contaminated the disease. You have been in quarantine in one particular hospital. At that process, they are giving some medication to recover. And let me tell you one thing, coronavirus is not a death sentence. There is still a hope. You may contact it at the end of the day, you may be well.
You say people who have contacted it are people who have quarantine. What if the people coming from outside country, does it mean all of them have contacted it?
No, those people that are coming from outside country, that's how they check them. They will check your temperature. If your temperature is running high, they will need to keep you for a while. They will still test you. If you are being contaminated, they will isolate you. You get me?
It's coronavirus. It's a virus that is killing people now. Actually, we learned that from China. That brought the virus and spread it, and it's killing a lot of people. And see, like Nigeria, everybody's at home because they're afraid of the virus. Different, huh? Like me, isolation, only me and my house.
So person make coronavirus, government carry on. What you are carrying to?
I don't understand.
If person get coronavirus now, government come carry on. Where they carry on go?
According to them, it's an isolation center.
So the isolation center for your house now?
Yes, I have it at home. So only me in my house.
So do you have coronavirus?
Me? No, I'm preventing myself.
Why you going to isolation now?
That's what Nigeria wants. So she stay at home.
So they hold now, it's isolation?
Yes.
So your house is an isolation center?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a virus. What I mean by virus is that somebody's body. Then from there it will start circulating in the person's body and maybe and give that person a problem.
Yes, so we have quarantine, we have isolation. What is the difference between the two?
Quarantine is when somebody goes into a place where the doctors will look at him very well and know exactly what he's suffering from, whether it is that disease. Then self-isolation is that probably where there's no doctor, you take yourself out, maybe lock yourself up till the necessary authorities will come and look at you.
So if you're on self-isolation, does it mean you have coronavirus?
Sorry?
If you are in a self-isolation, does it mean you have coronavirus?
No, probably you are thinking you might have. You are not sure. So, but you want the relevant authorities to check whether you have.
Okay, what is different between isolation and quarantine?
I don't know that one.
You've never heard of quarantine before?
Yeah.
Huh?
I dey hear it.
So what can you say about quarantine?
Because of this coronavirus, I people want to come out.
So what do you understand by quarantine?
Quarantine means because of this coronavirus, people don't go out, people their house, they go anywhere.
What about isolation?
No, I don't know for that one.
The coronavirus, as from the information we have been hearing over the media, and from the write-ups and articles that we have reading, we made to understand that coronavirus is a virus that is killing people. So that is all what I can say.
Okay. You've heard of quarantine, isolation, you've heard of it?
Yes, I have heard about quarantine.
How can you differentiate the two? What is the difference between them?
Yeah, scientifically, the two, they are quarantine. Normally people, we consider it as a person that is already infected with the virus. So it's under quarantine so that he will receive treatment.
Read on the differences
between quarantine and isolation. Some of them actually got it right.
Yeah, I even love the way they were able to put it in a very simple and clear.
For when someone is already infected,
it's confirmed that
and
he or she is
infected.
already.
So that's where quarantine terminology comes into place. Isolation is when you suspected but not confirmed yet. So you isolate yourself either in your home or in
somewhere so that you don't get to infect other people.
But I think more is that what it means.
Yes.
It's been Daybreak Africa here on Television Nigeria. My name is Messi Joe.
And my name is Elvis Oga.
Okay, do remember you can always stream us live on our social media platforms and on our website at www.televisionnigeria.news. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Television Nigeria, and don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. It's been a nice time here.
Well, I'll leave you with sports.
In as much as Africa
The Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Diary, has directed the onward payment of funds into the account of Nigerian athletes to provide some relief in the face of COVID-19 pandemic. The payments, which commenced Wednesday as part of the 10 million naira donated by Reno Star Chairman Kunle Tsunami and 1 million naira from an unnamed patriotic Nigerian as a takeoff of the athletes relief fund. The sum of 80,000 naira is being paid into the direct account of each of the athletes from the account of the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. President of the Nigerian Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, says the decision of the resumption of football activities in the country will be taken after due consultations with the government and all other relevant bodies. The NFF suspended football activities in the country in March following restriction in the three states, which includes Lagos, Ogun and Abuja, from May 4th. And Pinnick has revealed the Federation is in discussion with the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development to determine when football activities will resume. Super Eagles goalkeeper Francis Uzoho has defended his age, stating his looks changed as a result of training. Uzoho, 21, has come under intense Cyprus goalie, stated that those criticizing him do not know him when he was growing up, revealing he had a small stature. Uzoho was the Super Eagles' first-choice goalkeeper at the 2019 FIFA World Cup in Russia, where the three-time African champions were eliminated at the group stage. The goalkeeper, who has 14 caps for Nigeria, was part of Ghana's Royal squad that finished third at the 2019 African Cup of Nations. Argentine manager Mauricio Pochettino has revealed he is determined to return as manager of Tottenham Hotspur. Pochettino left Spurs in November after 5 years at the club, having transformed Spurs into one of the country's top side. Pochettino, who is 48 years old, led Spurs to a second place and third place finish in the Premier League during his reign. And he also took the London club to the 2019 Champions League finals, ultimately falling 2-0 to Liverpool in the finals in Madrid. Before start to the current campaign, Pochettino was sacked and replaced by Jose Mourinho. Now, Pochettino, who is being linked with the Premier League return to Newcastle, assuming the club's $300 million Saudi takeover, he is ready to return to management. But he has stated he is hopeful to return to Spurs to lead the club to a title in the future.
That's it on Sport Update. I am Moses Agena.
From its origin and establishment in 1919 by the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, Lekki Conservation Center has grown into one of Africa's prominent and most diverse urban nature parks due to its high species richness. Its action reputed to be the longest canopy walkway in Africa. It is an engineering feat and amazing suspended swinging bridge walkway through the mosaic of vegetation types characterizing the Lekki Conservation Center Nature Park. It has the entry and exit portals connecting 6 towers, treating visitors to unique experience, unforgettable chants, types, and sight the unique wildlife that the Yankari National Park is in Bauchi State, East Central Nigeria, southeast of Bauchi town. It was established as a game reserve in 1956 and became a national park in 1991. It 800 and 600 feet has characterized grasslands and thick bushes. Yankari is rich in animal life with antelopes, elephants, hippopotamus, inhabitants for water storage and the Wikiwam Springs. It is impossible to miss Zuma Rock, standing at 725 meters. It majestically presides over the surrounding landscape. Visitors in Nigeria will often notice that there is traveling the highway in the area. Yes, you read right. Zuma Rock has
My name is Chiwendu Osisiago, presenter. My name is Chiwendu Osisiago, presenter. As what we therefore command a special audience of business-minded viewers who are eager to know more about business. I mean, your business. Why don't you take advantage of our special affordable offer to let the world know about your concepts, your goods, and of course, your services? You can call us on 080-3061 in Guzapi Abu. Social media handles on Facebook, YouTube, and of course on Twitter at Television Nigerian. Your business is our concern.
Into one of Africa's prominent and most diverse urban nature parks due to its high species richness. It is located in the coastal environs covering an approximate land area of 78 acres extending from kilometer 19 along the Lagos-Ekpe Expressway and ends up a very close distance to the Atlantic Ocean near the Eastern District of Lagos State, Nigeria. The Lekki 1-meter long canopy walkway is a scenic attraction reputed to be the longest canopy walkway in Africa. It is an engineering feat and amazing suspended swinging bridge walkway through the mosaic of vegetation types characterizing the Lekki Conservation Center Nature Park. It has the entry and exit portals connecting 6 towers, treating visitors to unique experience, unforgettable chance to explore the nature habitats, types, and sight the unique wildlife that inhabit the Lekki Conservation Center. The Yankari National Park is in Bauchi State, East Central Nigeria, southeast of Bauchi town. It was established as a game reserve in 1956 and became a national park in 1991. It covers 870 square miles, 2,254 square kilometers. The park, at an elevation of about 1,600 feet, has characteristic savanna vegetation, including swamps in river floodplains, grasslands and thick bushes. Yankari is rich in animal life with antelopes, elephants, hippopotamus, giraffes, baboons, hyenas, lions, leopards and crocodiles. Special features of the park are ancient sandstone cisterns carved by former inhabitants for water storage and the Wikiworm springs. An unusual silence when traveling the highway in the area. Yes, you read right. Zuma Rock has natural contours on the surface which depict the image of human.
Coronavirus pandemic has impacted the global economy in such a devastating manner that is unknown to history in decades. The world is still combating the pandemic with huge funds, unprecedented loss of human lives, and missed economic comatose in most countries occasioned by lockdown and related uncertainty as to when this ends and what to do post-pandemic. Many thanks for joining us again on TVN Business Daily. I'm Chiwendu Isisego, and today we shall be discussing on legal impacts of lockdown on businesses. Let's look at the business update for today. Latest statistics from the Central Bank of Nigeria have revealed that from $38.53 billion on January 2nd, 2020 to $33.44 billion as of April 28, 2020. According to the figures, the reserve dropped from $39.8 billion on November 11, 2019 to $39.24 billion on December 13, 2019. This is after the fall of $1.26 billion from as of end of October. During the last monetary sector, the Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele said the committee noted the weakened revenue position of the federal government arising from the sharp drop in oil prices. He reiterated the need for governments to urgently reduce reliance on oil revenue by gradually diversifying the economy and improving tax collection. Again, the Central Bank of Nigeria on Wednesday intensified its surveillance of the foreign exchange market, warning speculators, smugglers and other illegal users. The Apex Bank said this on Wednesday in a statement issued by the Director of Corporate Communications Department, Isaac Okorafor. The CBN in the statement vowed to take actions against any individuals or institutions involved in such speculations, smuggling and illegal use of foreign exchange in the country. The CBN said in view of the gradual easing of the COVID-19 lockdown both globally and in Nigeria, foreign exchange would be provided to all commercial banks for onward sale to parents wishing to pay their school fees. The federal government has said that it plans to decontaminate 123 aircraft nationwide to curtail the spread of coronavirus, but has so far disinfected only 2 aircraft. It also stated that 13 airports across the country had been mapped for decontamination, adding that work was ongoing on other facilities. Minister of Environment Muhammad Mahmood disclosed this on Wednesday at a daily briefing on COVID-19 update in Abuja. He explained that the decontamination was slow because of the nature of the aviation sector. Trading activities on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange finished the month of April on the positive route as the all-share index and market capitalization appreciated by 0.67%, by 152.61 basic point or 0.67% from 22,868.40 index points the previous day to 23,021.01, while the market capitalization of equities appreciated 1.7 trillion naira. And the activities chart premier subsector dominated in volume term with 187.47 million shares exchanged in 2,303 deals. The subsector was enhanced by the activities in the shares of FB&H PLC and Access Bank PLC. In all, investors exchanged a total of 359.46 million shares exchanged in 4,946 deals. And that's the business update on television Nigerian. I am Chiwendu Osisiagu. Now we shall be going on a quick break. The program continues shortly.
Yeah, it's affected because before we used to buy food very cheap, but for now we don't even see the people like from Kaduna or just that they used to bring food, or Niger State that they used to bring food. So there is no way for now. And for us that are living here in Abuja villages, we are not rich people. We are very poor people, and they block the road without giving us any food to eat. Government didn't give us food, so we are very, very suffering. Just 3 days. Even me now, since morning I didn't eat. Since today morning.
So what are the food items that have increased?
Like yam and rice and other food, you know, and pure water. Even pure water is very hard to get now, because before we used to buy pure water 10 naira, but now some places we used to sell 20 naira, 30 naira because of it's very difficult to get.
Work, they will come back and buy something for us. When they no work and no money, when they come tell you to say credit, you carry the little money where you get to go buy another one, very costly, and the day man no get money to come and buy, so it affect us seriously.
My sister, this one is very, very terrible. We affected it very, very terrible because things are double. Expensive things are double because a bag of rice now in the market is 28,000 naira. While 1 month ago is 23,500. But right now, if you see the foreign rice in the market, it's 29,000. A mood of rice now is 1,000 naira. Before it's 700. A mood now is 1,000. So very well, say a bag of garri is 21,000 naira. You don't even see it. No matter of price. If you demand garri now, you cannot see it. White garri is 8,500. Now it's 16,000, 17,000. So things is double. They are dead. And people are suffering because there's no money in town.
It's very, very critical. This could have a loss. Before, I chopped 3 times. But now, since the morning I never eat. To be sincere with you, I never eat since the morning. I went to buy garri to soak. They say garri, one mood where they buy 150 before is 400 naira.